Imagine a place where nature and human ambition meet in the most dramatic fashion. In the very heart of Sri Lanka, a land dripping with emerald jungles and ancient secrets, there stands a colossal pillar of rock. This is Sigiriya, the Lion Rock. It rises nearly 200 meters from the forest floor, a magnificent monolith that seems to have been placed there by giants. It doesn't just sit on the landscape, it commands it, a silent, powerful guardian watching over the plains. This incredible formation is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and one can immediately see why. It's a site that simply stops you in your tracks, making you wonder what stories its weathered, ancient face could tell. The air here feels different, thick with history and the whispers of the past. The first glimpse of Sigiriya is something that stays with you forever, darling. As you approach through the lush greenery, it reveals itself slowly, almost shyly, before dominating your entire view. The rock appears as a sheer, flat-topped giant, its sides streaked with the colors of time, dark gray, ochre, and patches of green where daring plants have taken root. It is a geological marvel, but its true magic lies in the human story etched upon its very being. This isn't just a rock. It was a fortress, a palace, and a monastery. It represents a fusion of natural wonder and extraordinary human ingenuity. A testament to a kingdom that dared to build its capital in the sky. A truly breathtaking spectacle to behold. The area surrounding Sigiriya is just as enchanting as the rock itself. The fortress is encircled by some of the oldest landscaped gardens in the world. There are water gardens with pools and fountains that still work during the rainy season, a testament to the incredible engineering skills of their ancient creators. Then there are the boulder gardens with massive rocks that were once part of monastic shelters, and the terraced gardens that climb the lower slopes of the rock like giant green staircases. Walking through these grounds feels like stepping into a lost world, a carefully planned paradise designed to complement the grandeur of the palace above. It's a peaceful, utterly mesmerizing beginning to the adventure that awaits. The sheer scale of the place is almost impossible to comprehend until you are standing right at its base, craning your neck to see the top. It feels like the world has been tipped on its side. One can only imagine the effort, the sheer will it took to transform this formidable natural structure into a home fit for a king. It's a place that sparks the imagination and fills one with a sense of awe. The journey to the summit is not just a physical climb, it is a journey back in time, a pilgrimage to one of the most astonishing architectural achievements of the ancient world. The very air seems to hum with the energy of centuries past, inviting you to come and uncover its secrets. The story of Sigiriya is intertwined with a tale of royal drama, worthy of any great play. It begins in the 5th century with a king named Kashyapa. He was a son who took the throne through a rather dark deed, and he lived in fear of retaliation from his exiled brother, the rightful heir. To protect himself, Kashyapa sought out the most impenetrable location in his kingdom to build a new capital. He chose this immense rock, a natural fortress that seemed to touch the heavens. He moved his court from the traditional capital of Anuradhapura and began the monumental task of building a palace complex on its flat summit. It was a statement of power, an act of defiance against his enemies and the world. King Kashyapa's vision was nothing short of extraordinary. He didn't just want a fortress, he wanted a celestial palace, a pleasure dome that would reflect his divine status. The entire complex was designed to be a manifestation of a mythical paradise. The gardens below were meant to represent a tranquil earthly realm, while the palace on the summit was his heavenly abode. For a brief, glittering period, Sigiriya was the epicenter of Sri Lankan power and culture. Imagine the grand halls, the open-air pavilions, and the royal chambers perched high above the jungle, with views stretching out to the horizon. It must have been a sight of unbelievable splendor and luxury. The construction of this sky palace was an astonishing feat of engineering and human labor. Thousands of workers would have toiled for years, hauling materials up the sheer rock face. They chiseled staircases into the stone, built sophisticated hydraulic systems to carry water to the summit, and constructed elegant buildings on what was once a bare, windswept plateau. King Kashyapa's reign here was short-lived, lasting only about 18 years. Eventually, his brother returned with an army, and in the ensuing battle, Kashyapa was defeated. After his death, the magnificent palace was abandoned and the site was returned to a Buddhist monastery, its brief, glorious chapter as a royal capital closed forever. Today, as you explore the ruins, you can feel the echoes of this dramatic history. Though the grand halls are now just stone foundations, the ghost of King Kashyapa's ambition lingers in the air. The story adds a layer of human tragedy and intrigue to the sheer physical wonder of the place. It's a reminder that behind every great monument, there is a human story of love, fear, betrayal, and ambition. Sigiriya is not just a rock. It is a memorial to a king who dared to build his kingdom amongst the clouds. A dream that was as magnificent as it was fleeting, leaving behind a legacy that continues to captivate the world. The climb to the top of Sigiriya is a journey through art and history itself, an experience that unfolds with every step. The ascent begins on a series of staircases that zigzag up the western face of the rock. About halfway up, you come to a sheltered gallery protected from the elements. This is where you find one of Sigiriya's greatest treasures, the famous frescoes. These are exquisite paintings of beautiful women, known as the Sigiriya Maidens or Apsaras. Adorned with flowers and jewels, they float on a background of clouds, their expressions serene and timeless. Painted over 1500 years ago, their colors are still remarkably vibrant, a splash of delicate beauty on this immense wall of stone. Continuing past the frescoes, you encounter another of Sigiriya's wonders, the mirror wall. In its day, this wall was coated with a highly polished plaster made from lime, egg white, and honey, so smooth that it shone like a mirror. As visitors walked past, they could see their reflections alongside the painted maidens on the opposite wall. Over the centuries, people who were moved by the beauty of the frescoes left their thoughts inscribed on this wall. These ancient inscriptions, known as the Sigiriya graffiti, date from the 6th to the 14th centuries. They are poems and messages of praise, offering a fascinating glimpse into the minds of early visitors and their impressions of this magical place. The final stage of the climb is the most dramatic. You arrive at a large plateau where you are greeted by the remains of the main entrance, the Lion's Gate. Originally, the staircase to the palace summit passed through the open mouth of a colossal lion, carved from the rock itself. Today, only the lion's gigantic paws remain, each one bigger than a person. But even with just these paws, you can imagine the staggering sight it must have been. To enter the king's celestial palace, you had to walk through the throat of a lion. It was a powerful symbol of royal authority, designed to inspire awe and intimidation in all who approached. From the lion's paws, a modern metal staircase takes you on the final steep ascent to the summit. As you climb, the world opens up around you. The views become more and more spectacular with every step, a breathtaking panorama of the Sri Lankan countryside. This part of the climb is not for the faint of heart, but the reward is immeasurable. It is a stairway to heaven, leading you from the earthly gardens, past the celestial maidens and through the Lion's Gate, to the king's palace in the sky. It is a truly unforgettable pilgrimage, a climb that connects you physically and spiritually to the ancient heart of Sri Lanka. Reaching the summit of Sigiriya is a moment of pure triumph. As you step onto the flat top of the rock, you are standing on the crown of Sri Lanka. The world falls away beneath you, replaced by a 360-degree vista of breathtaking beauty. You can see for miles in every direction, a patchwork of endless green jungles, shimmering lakes, distant mountains, and tiny villages scattered across the plains. The wind whispers around the ancient foundations of King Kashyapa's palace, the only sound in this high, silent world. It's a profoundly moving experience, a chance to see the world from a king's perspective and feel a deep sense of peace and wonder. The ruins on the summit, though weathered by time, paint a vivid picture of the palace that once stood here. You can trace the outlines of the royal court, the king's private chambers, and even a large rock-cut pool that would have collected rainwater. To stand here at sunrise or sunset is an experience that borders on the spiritual. Watching the sun cast its golden light across the landscape, igniting the sky with fiery colors, is something that connects you to all the generations who have stood on this very spot, lost in awe. It's a reminder of the enduring power of nature and the incredible heights of human creativity. Sigiriya is the jewel in the crown of Sri Lanka's cultural triangle, a region in the center of the country that is rich with ancient cities and sacred sites. It is a place that everyone should have on their travel list. Visiting Sigiriya is about more than just a climb. It's about immersing yourself in history, art, and nature all at once. It's a chance to walk through ancient gardens, gaze upon timeless art, and marvel at an architectural feat that defies belief. It appeals to the adventurer, the historian, the artist, and the nature lover in all of us. The combination of its dramatic story and its physical splendor makes it a truly unique destination. So, if you ever find yourself dreaming of a journey to a land of wonder, let your thoughts drift to Sri Lanka and its magnificent Lion Rock. Come and see it for yourself. Feel the warm tropical breeze as you walk through the water gardens. Let the ancient frescoes enchant you and dare to make the climb to the summit. Stand where a king once stood and gaze out at a kingdom of green. Sigiriya is not just a place to visit. It is a wonder to be experienced, a story to be felt, and a memory that will stay with you, bright and beautiful, for the rest of your life. It is an invitation from history, and my darling, you simply must accept.